Welcome back again, and today we will be discussing teaching styles. These styles will need to change in order for you to have a successful class. As a teacher, you will mean a lot of different things to different students: teacher, role model, hero, advisor, counselor, and friend. You need to realize that you need to act or teach a different way to different classes. In order to do this, you must understand the following areas of teaching styles in order to teach better. As I stated in the previous 2 chapters, you need to be stern with the class, but fair. Fix problems quickly. Be consistent with your punishments and rewards. The following section I will discuss several different styles of teaching, from the hardcore teacher with an A-type personality to the lazy teacher who only wants to collect a paycheck. After you read this section, decide on which one you want to be when you teach. It makes a world of a difference. Authoritarian. An authoritarian teacher is the style of teacher that I like to call an A-type teacher. They place strict rules for and on the students, and the students are not allowed to break any rule without swift punishment. The teacher shows little consideration to the students and is teacher-centered. Students are not allowed to talk unless they raise their hands, and if they break that rule, they will be punished quickly. The teacher shows little praise, even if a student does well. They may even still criticize the student. They are quick to yell, and their classroom is their domain. Students who are late or miss class may not be able to make up missed days or tests, even if a family emergency is the reason for their absence or lateness. They show little kindness or affection to the students inside or outside of the classroom. They will not give extra work to the students to make up, as they feel it's a waste of their time if they have students do extra work. They may place an emphasis on grammar and may make the students do chants while learning the language instead of allowing the students to practice with a partner. Students are not to be disruptive or speak out of turn. Authoritative. The authoritative teacher, like the authoritarian, places strict rules on the students, but is more student-centered. After all, learning English is more than just reading a book about grammar. Speaking is as important, so the students are encouraged to speak openly as long as it is not disruptive or against the class rules. When a student breaks the rules, the teacher is quick to address the problem, but is fair when punishing students. While at the same time they don't allow the student to believe they, the teacher, don't like them. The teacher will punish students accordingly, but fairly. They allow the students to explain their side of the story, and either the student has a good reason, the teacher may or may not punish or as severely as they normally would. The teacher will show the students that they care about them and encourage free speech and praise when due. The students know they can interrupt the teacher if they need help and go to the teacher if they have a problem without the teacher being angry with them. Many students know the teacher is firm, but fair, and they know when to stop misbehaving when the time is appropriate. The teacher gives adequate handouts so the students can review and has extracurricular activities to release the boredom in the class in order that the students learn about other topics. Laissez-faire. A laissez-faire teacher is one who is in control of the classroom, but permits students to do the work and make the decisions. In other words, they are a manager with several managers below them who are allocated do certain jobs. The teacher is the main manager and watches over the other managers. This type of teacher allows the students to decide on what they want to learn. They listen to the students' requests and in some cases allow the students to decide what they will learn the next day. The students make the lesson plans and in some instances control the classroom. The students decide what they will study to what activities they do. The teacher does not punish students severely as to allow the students to develop on their own. When a student has broken a rule, they will ignore the problem so it doesn't disrupt the classroom. The problems with this type of teacher is when students talk, they allow the class to get carried away and off topic. Other times the students do not want to learn or have a clear lesson direction or goal. This can be detrimental in their learning. The teacher may give too much praise to students or grade them too high than they normally would receive with another teacher. When students go to another classroom with another teacher who is stricter, they tend to not want to learn as problems have been created. The teacher also may want to contact students outside of class to be friends. This can be a dangerous trend if the teacher becomes too involved with students outside of the classroom. By placing such empowerment on the students may not meet achievements and goals set by the teacher. They may end up not be motivated because they may decide the teacher is too much of a friend, and with no limits they won't be punished if they misbehave. No discipline rules have been placed on them or in the classroom, so they don't need to achieve. Indifferent. The indifferent teacher is really a different teacher. First, there are two types of indifferent teachers: the retired on active duty teacher, road, or just enough education to pass, jeep. While they are on the opposite sides of the field, they both have the same distinct type of teaching style, which is, I only want my paycheck at the end of the week. The road teacher is a teacher who is just waiting for retirement and may have a few years left teaching and/or has decided they are not going to teach anything new. They don't give new lessons, but recycle old lesson plans that they have been teaching for the past 10 years. They don't introduce new topics or search for new ways to teach students. They personally don't care about teaching. The CELTA teachers seem to be like this. They are required to teach a class. Every 4 or 5 weeks they get a new class, so there is no need to teach a different class. Many just decide this is the one thing they will teach and there is no need to improve their lessons or learn anything new. Don't be like them. Learn all the time, and if you have a chance to learn something different, then learn it. It will only improve your teaching. On the opposite side of the tracks is the jeep teacher. The road teacher only wants to get the day over with and collect the check. The jeep teacher wants to play games or preach to the class how great their country was or they were, because they don't know how to teach. They have no lesson plans, don't care what the students do, and most of the time let the students run wild. Either way, neither teacher gets the students motivated to learn and neither teaches anything to the students. The students are happy because they have lots of fun, but at the same time are not happy because they learn nothing. Techniques that backfire. Remember when you went to school. What were the attributes you liked of your favorite teachers? What were the traits of the teachers you did not like? Then ask yourself, which teacher do you want to be like? I remember my 5th grade teacher throwing chalk at students who were not paying attention in class. It seems to me now that his short temper and actions that he should have been in a different profession. A 5th grader is around 10 years old and has a short attention span. There is no need to lose your temper because a student isn't paying attention. Just calmly tell them to pay attention or remove the item causing the distraction. Another 5th grade teacher I had was worse. He would purposely and deliberately cheat for his class. He would punish students while allowing other students who were equally bad, or doing the same thing, to continue. He would scream and threaten students and try to convince students that his thoughts were the only thoughts that mattered in the world. These two teachers, in my opinion, did not need to be teaching. On the opposite side of the spectrum was my 2nd grade and 8th grade teachers. Both teachers would talk nicely, no matter how bad of a student you were. If you played jokes in the classroom, they would laugh and then calmly tell you to behave. They never raised their voice or became angry. I don't think I ever saw either of those teachers get angry. I give Mrs. Kennedy and Mrs. Blale total credit for being great teachers while I grew up. To finish up classroom management, I am adding a few things you should never do in a classroom. This is where many teachers fail. By doing the following, you only show the students that you think you are better than them, arrogant, and the students will lose all respect for you. You never want your class to lose respect for you. If students lose respect for you because of one of the following, it will only make teaching problems worse, as students will not want to learn. Most of all, remember, respect your students. Techniques that backfire are: insulting the student, embarrassing or yelling at them, physically threatening them, attacking the student's family characteristics, telling students to do as I say, because I'm the boss and you're not, telling students to act as you have acted as a child, being sarcastic, mimicking or mocking students because you don't like them, losing your temper and screaming, showing clenched fists, insisting that you have the last word, using physical force against students. Thank you again. Come back again and we will discuss the first day of class, which is very important, and the activities and other information you will need in order to have a successful TESOL career. I'll see you next time.